Hey everyone, I'm JP and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to check out some great deals you can pick up right now in the eShop, all for less than $20. And while some are nearly over here in a few days, others will last well into next month. So far, the deals have been great in 2022, and April is shaping up to be another amazing month both for deals and new releases. In the comments down below, let me know what games you've been playing lately, or if you're looking forward to anything specific coming next month. You know I love hearing from you all. If this happens to be your first time here, welcome, and of course if you enjoyed the video, consider hitting that red button down below to become part of the extended family here at the channel. We'd love to welcome you, and it really helps keep us growing here on this crazy platform. In other words, it would mean a lot to us. And if you've been here before, welcome back my friends. Much love as always. I hope you have a wonderful week heading into April. Thanks as always. Now without any further ado, let's dive in and try to save some money together. Stay safe out there and please enjoy the video. Alright, we'll start off with A Hat in Time, the Ultimate Edition. This is a charming 3D action platformer with a main story that should last roughly 10 to 15 hours, and it has a download size that's pretty hefty, around 16.5 gigabytes. It also has local co-op for 2 players as well, and in this one we play as a young time traveler with a big old top hat. Unfortunately, the fuel for our ship has been scattered across the nearby planet, so players will have to explore the vast and beautiful world in order to collect and recover all of the timepieces. This edition includes all of the DLC as well, and adds so much more value to the sale price. You'll also get access to the entire experience with this version. These editions add new moves, items, weapons, levels, quests, and so much more. If you're interested in A Hat in Time, make sure to grab it up before the sale ends on March 31st. Right now it's marked down 50%, matching an all-time low of just $18.49. Archvale is a top-down adventure game inspired by games like A Link to the Past, and it has a download size around 880 megabytes, with the main story that will last roughly 10 hours or so to finish up. This is basically what you would get if you combined old school Zelda titles with something like Enter the Gungeon. It has a surprising amount of depth to the combat and how you build your character, which can alter the gameplay drastically. There is a pretty cool weapon crafting system as well, and for those that like a good challenge, this game is no walk in the park either. If you're interested in Archvale, be sure to pick it up before the sale ends on the 31st. It's marked down 20% to a new low of just $11.99. Next we have Aspire Ina's Tale. This is a single-player puzzle platformer with a download size around 1.9 gigabytes and a main story. While short, it's very impactful and will last roughly 2 to 3 hours to complete. The visuals and sound design are top-notch and the main reason in my opinion to experience the game. The world is immersive and the short bit of narrative given is just enough to keep you intrigued and curious about what's to come. The puzzles can be a bit challenging at times, but overall it's a very peaceful experience, similar to something like Grease, if you played that one. If you're interested in Aspire Ina's Tale, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on April 1st. Right now it's marked down 50% to a new all-time low of just $6.49. Next we have Assassin's Creed the Ezio Collection, which is a package of 3 games with a few bonus videos from the Ezio Auditore era of this long-running franchise. Now this is a direct port, so don't expect any graphical upgrades or things like that. However, they have made a few quality of life enhancements, such as increasing the text size while in handheld. The ports were done well, they run pretty smooth on the Switch for the most part, but they do feel their age in some aspects. This was a great story arc spanning a few games. Fans of the series will likely have played it though, but if you haven't or if you just want it here on the Switch, this is a great deal. Now the same deal is available physical at some retailers, but either way you can pick it up for just $29.99, marked down 25%. To a new low until April 7th. Children of Morta the Complete Edition is an action RPG with a download size around 2.3 gigabytes and a main story that could last more than 20 hours to finish up, plus the game is available for 1 or 2 players and local co-op. Now this is the story of a family standing together while the world around them is falling into darkness. It's shown from a top-down view and features amazing pixel art graphics. You'll have 7 playable characters, each different member of the family, and they all play vastly different from one another. There are upgrades to find and modifiers you can use between runs, and this version also includes all of the DLC as well, making this a great value. One thing to keep in mind though is the game is pretty tough, so make sure you factor that into your decision. If you are interested though, make sure to grab this one up before the sale ends on the 17th of April. Right now it's marked down 60% to a new all-time low of just $10.79. Next up we have Flynn, Son of Crimson. This is a single-player platform adventure game with a download size around 225 megabytes and a main story that could last nearly 10 hours to complete. In this one, we play as a young man tasked with stopping an invading scourge, along with our spirit companion Dex. Throughout the game, you'll be able to summon him in tough areas to assist in battle, which was pretty cool. Now, as luck would have it, Flynn has powers that he never knew he had, and as we progress through the story, we unlock even more of these unique abilities. It really is a fun combat system, and if you're interested in Flynn, Son of Crimson, make sure to grab it up before the sale ends on March 31st. It's marked down 25% to a new low of just $14.99. Ikenfell is a single-player adventure RPG and offers a main story that will last roughly 15 to 20 hours with a download size around 460 megabytes. Now, this is a turn-based tactical RPG about a group of troublesome magic students and features a heartwarming story full of twists and turns, dozens of magical spells to find and unlock, several playable characters each with their own skill sets and abilities, and more than 20 epic boss battles. There are also hundreds of secrets to find throughout, and the soundtrack was fantastic. If you're interested in Ikenfell, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on March 31st. It's marked down 40%, matching a previous low of just $11.99. Kraken Academy is a single-player top-down adventure game with a download size around 300 megabytes and again a main story that should last nearly 8 to 10 hours to wrap up. The game has a unique story and takes place in a high school setting, but everything is a bit odd in this world. The characters are strange, but the story and combat are outstanding. Ultimately, you join forces with the magical Kraken to investigate and find the traitor in the school, the one behind all the weird things that are going on. Outside of the main goal though, you can also get to know the NPCs, follow their routines, and even join different clubs within the school. There's definitely a lot of content here, and it has an addictive gameplay loop. If you're interested in Kraken Academy, be sure to pick it up before the sale ends on April 5th. It's marked down 20% to a new all-time low of just $14.39. Moonlighter The Complete Edition is a single-player action RPG with a download size around 2 gigabytes and a main story that could last more than 20 hours. The game follows a young man named Will, who's an adventurous shopkeeper that dreams of becoming a hero. The game features an addictive gameplay loop of searching for treasures and then bringing them back to your shop every day to sell. In the Complete Edition, in addition to the base game, you'll get the Between Dimensions expansion as well. The DLC adds new enemies, new bosses, and more. This is a great value at its current sale price of just $5.79, marked down 80% to a new all-time low, and the sale ends on April 17th. Phoenotopia Awakening is a single-player retro 2D RPG, and this one offers more than 50 hours of gameplay with a download size just around 1 gigabyte. The game features challenging combat, unique puzzles, and encourages exploration as well. The story revolves around a young girl who, while out gathering the rest of the children, gets sidetracked, and while away the entire town disappears, leaving just her and her friends to uncover the mystery. Along the way, you'll face off with bosses that test your skills and reflexes, uncover secrets, find hidden collectibles, and form relationships with the NPCs that will ultimately help you save your home. Phoenotopia Awakening is currently on sale until April 8th, marked down 40% and matching a previous low of just $11.99. Sparklite is an amazing action-adventure title with a top-down view and a gorgeous pixel art aesthetic. The game offers roughly 9 to 10 hours of gameplay for 1 or 2 players in local co-op with a download size around 1.6 gigabytes. Now this one takes place in an ever-changing world and tells the story of the world's lifeblood, the Sparklite. The game features 5 unique biomes to explore, a crafting system which allows players to invent their own unique weapons, tough boss battles, and again an enthralling story. One thing to note is the co-op is more of an assistive multiplayer than a full-blown 2-player mode, so just keep that in mind. If you're interested in this one, be sure to grab it up before the sale ends on April 12th. Right now it's marked down 70% to just $7.49. SpongeBob SquarePants, The Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is a 3D action platformer and a remaster of a cult classic from roughly 2 decades ago. It has a download size around 11 gigabytes and the story should last roughly 10 to 15 hours to finish up. It offers both local and online multiplayer as well for 2 players, which is always a nice addition. You can play as SpongeBob, Patrick, or Sandy, each with unique moves as you try to stop Plankton's evil plans and save Bikini Bottom. The game's been updated and enhanced for modern consoles, but the camera is still your biggest enemy in most cases. It even has some additional content that was removed from the original as well. If you like 3D platform adventure style games, make sure to check this one out before the sale ends on March 31st. Right now it's marked down 40% to just $17.99. Next we have Steel Assault. This is a 2D retro shooter, and this game is amazing and incredibly fast paced. The platforming feels smooth and the boss battles feel epic. The only thing I can complain about is that the game just feels a little bit short, but there's tons of replayability so you can go over and over again. The game has a download size around 340 megabytes, and depending on your skill level, it can be beaten in under an hour, so again, keep that in mind. What is on offer though is great, and it has again tons of replayability. The retro look fits well on the Switch, and if you're interested in Steel Assault, or you were considering picking it up, make sure to do so before the sale ends on April 3rd. Right now it's marked down 40% to a new all-time low of just $8.99. Super Mombo Quest is a single-player 2D action platformer with a download size around 1.1 gigabytes and a main story that will last roughly 8 to 9 hours. The game is gorgeous on the Switch and requires precise timing and movements in order to get through some of the tougher levels. The combat is frantic and fun, plus there's even a really neat combo system that allows you to chain together some awesome attacks. Along the way you can find and unlock new Mombo forms as well. There are more than 100 total levels, making this a great value. If you're interested in Super Mombo Quest, be sure to grab it up before the sale ends on April 12th. Right now it's marked down 35% to just $10.33. UNSIGHTED is a co-op action platformer with a download size around 2.5 gigabytes, and it offers nearly 20 hours of gameplay for 2 players locally. It features a massive world that encourages exploration with secrets and shortcuts to find, RPG-like combat and game mechanics with talents and loadouts, as well as an in-depth crafting system. One really cool feature is that the game world is always moving forward while you play, and some NPCs may even become unsighted before you reach them, which will alter the outcome of events and even the ending. There are additional modes outside of the main campaign as well, and if you're interested in Unsighted, make sure to grab it up before the sale ends on March 31st. It's marked down 20%, matching a previous low of just $15.99. The Company Man is a single-player action platformer with a download size around 1 gigabyte and a main campaign that should last between 5 to 10 hours or so. Now this is a comedic play on the corporate structure that you find in these big companies. We play as a new hire that's been tricked into damaging company property, and from there we work through each of the 7 amazing stages to undo the damage. Every level is themed around something you might find while working at these places, and they did a great job of capturing the hecticness of it all. The sound design and controls were great as well, and the game is very forgiving for new players. It gives you unlimited lives and pretty generous checkpoints. If you're interested in The Company Man, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on April 4th. Right now it's marked down 10%, matching an all-time low of just $17.99. Next we have Vigil, The Longest Night. This is a single-player 2D action RPG with a precision-based combat system and a strong narrative. The game was heavily inspired by games like Salt and Sanctuary or Castlevania, and has a download size around 5.2 gigabytes. In this one, we play as a young girl named Layla on her quest to save her hometown from the creeping evil infesting the surrounding countryside. The game features multiple weapon types, rich culture-based lore, a complex skill-based tree, brutal enemies, and one of the most gorgeous art styles I've seen in a while. The boss battles were a particular highlight though. They were gruesome and amazing. There are even multiple endings, and if you're interested in Vigil The Longest Night, please check it out before the sale ends on April 11th. It's marked down 40%, again matching an all-time low of just $13.19. Not bad for a couple dozen hours of gameplay. Wife Quest is a single-player side-scrolling platformer with a download size around 1.3 gigabytes and a main story that should last roughly 10 hours or so to finish up. The game is strangely better than I expected it to be, and the gameplay is similar to something like Goblin Sword, just a bit more mature in nature. It revolves around a stolen husband and a wife's quest for revenge on the evil witches that took him. There are weapon and item upgrades that you can find or purchase between worlds, boss battles that are actually fun and challenging, and a nice retro look and sound as well. If you're interested in Wife Quest, be sure to pick it up before the sale ends on April 6th, while marked down 20% to just $6.39 with a new release introductory deal. Next we have Wildfire. This is an action platform style RPG with a download size around 415 megabytes and a main story that should last around 5 to 10 hours to finish up. Now this is a cool stealth style game where you have to harness and use the power of the elements to progress through each level. You can start fires, freeze water, and even move the earth, and these abilities make for some cool puzzle solving along the way. Players will set out on a mission to take back their home village and rescue those whom have been kidnapped. What I really like about this game is that a lot of the puzzles will involve cleverly tricking your enemies and luring them into a trap. Of course, the addition of co-op gameplay for the entirety of the game is certainly welcome here. If you're interested in Wildfire, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on March 31st. It's marked down 40% to a new all-time low of just $8.99. Within the Blade is a single-player stealth platformer from Metallica Games with an amazing pixel art aesthetic and an immersive soundtrack. The game has a download size around 180 megabytes and a main story that should last roughly 5 to 7 hours to complete. Now Within the Blade, players will assume the role of a skilled ninja and part of the Black Lotus clan. Civil war has erupted within Japan and an evil warlord has risen to power. Our goal is to put an end to his tyrannical reign. The game features tough gameplay with epic boss battles, a crafting system, physics-based combat, and so much more. Plus, the controls were great. If you're interested in Within the Blade, make sure to grab it up before the sale ends on April 11th. It's marked down 40% to a new all-time low of just $6.59. Wonder Boy, Asha in Monster World is a single-player action RPG from Studio Art Inc. and offers a main story that will last roughly 6 to 8 hours with a download size around 3 gigabytes. Now this game is light and easy to play with a unique mechanic that makes it easier to retry and go again. You'll play as Asha along with her companion as you join forces to overcome enemies and different puzzles. There are loads of secrets and upgrades to find and the world is beautiful on the Switch. This is a gorgeous remaster of Monster World 4, the classic RPG released in the 90s. And the original team came back to bring it to us, which is such a cool story. If you're interested in Monster World, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on the 31st. It's marked down 50%, matching a previous low of just $17.49. Alright folks, and as always, here are a few other games to check out while you're already on the eShop. Alright folks, that's going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode. Thanks as always for hanging out with us. You know we truly do appreciate it, and you're legendary if you made it this far. If you're looking for more great content, click right here to watch any of our other videos. Bye everyone.
That's all for today's list. We hope you liked the video. If you did, consider subscribing and liking down below. Okay, bye!